Hey guys, welcome back to Life with 18 Cats, our Let's Chat Live. Happy Sunday to everyone. So glad you guys could make it. I'm glad to see everybody. Um, and it's gonna be, listen, just fair warning. Okay, yes, there's gonna be some sad things in this, but the point to doing this is to bring a little bit of awareness to the importance of paying attention and adopting senior cats, because you never know what the situation could be and why they need a home. So there's a positive message here, and like I said, Farrha's story is remarkable. It is heartwarming. It is she was an inspirational animal. I mean, she really was. She was a great cat, and I love her very much. I will always love her very much. So yes, there's going to be some sad aspects of this story to me, because of course, we all know this is not a spoiler alert or anything, but I did lose her a year and a half ago. So there is a sad aspect to this, but she has an amazing story. She's an amazing animal. And I am so blessed to have had her and to have been her mom for a couple of years. And I also gained a friendship out of this, and I'll get into that during the story. But yeah, I gained a friendship out of this adoption, and I'm very blessed to have that. And yeah, so yes, we're gonna pull at the heartstrings, but we'll be okay. We'll get through this, guys. We'll get through this. We will. So yeah, so there's that. Jenna, are you there?
Happy Sunday, everyone.
Happy Sunday. How you doing, Jenna?
I'm doing well, Kim. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there.
You're ready. We're ready to hear the story. You're ready to tell it.
I am ready.
Cammie's checking in. She was
Hi,
first.
Cammie. How you doing? And Gertrude. Hi, Gertrude. So happy to have you here, hon.
It's so great everybody's coming for this story to support you and to hear it, to help you get closure on the matters, and it'll be great.
It means a lot to me. Hi, Catitude. Hey, guys. Hi, everyone. Tissue's ready. Never thought I would say this about Kim's lives, but I don't think I'm going to enjoy this one. Don't like sad ones. Like I said, I know it's going to be very emotional for me. So for any of you guys that are out there, just that you're like empath kind of people that really just take on other people's emotions when you're hearing a story, it's gonna hit you. But like I said, it's a good thing that we're doing this. It's a good thing that I'm doing this. Deborah, hello everybody. Hi, Deborah. Because I really do need to close this, and this is definitely a chapter of my life that I will never forget, that I will never let go of completely. But it does need some closure. Mary Miles is here. Hello all. Hi, Mary. Thank you guys. Love you, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming in here. Really, you have no idea how much I appreciate it, because this is tough for me, but with all you guys' support, this is why I'm doing this like this. Is Farrha a male or female name? It's a female name. It is definitely a female name. If you want to know what she was named after, she was named after Farrha Fawcett. We can start with that. That's not like a huge, it's not a huge like spoiler for the story, but yes, her name is Farrha. It is spelled, it's spelled the way it's, I know some people are going to go, oh, was it spelled wrong? No, it is Farrha. The way I was told by her previous owner was, because she is Jewish, and so it's a Hebrew spelling of that name with the H first. So that's why her name is spelled the way it is. And yeah, so that's why the spelling is like that. Andy, hi Andy. Oh, hey girls.
Oh, hey Cass.
Oh, hi Andy. Thank you so much for being in here. I appreciate it. It's so sweet of you. So I do have a bunch of pictures that we'll be showing along the way. I thought that Kim, but spelled differently. Yeah, I wanted to tell you to look out for a small gift for Flene's 15th. Oh, Cammie, that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. Oh, I bet she'll love it. I'm sure she will absolutely love it. I know I think it was you. Somebody asked me the other day in chat, what would Flene want for a birthday present? I can't think of anything that is like, that Flene is like, I mean, she loves toys. Believe it or not, she loves toys. She loves those little, all the little ones that sit in place, the ones that Mark got for us, the ones that sit in place and that has the little thing that goes around. She loves those. So yeah, so anything you guys ever send, I mean, it does not matter how big or small or what, believe me, everything you guys send is so appreciated and so amazing, and I'm so grateful. Jenna, I was bound and determined to not let kitties sideline me from this live.
It's funny, Cammie, because sometimes my felines sideline me from the lives, and I'm kind of,
I know she had her own issues when we were sitting here before the live started. She was having her issues with Lila. I had a Sherlock issue over here. So yeah, we all have our little kitty issues, but that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. You never know what they're gonna do. Hi, sorry I'm late. Just woke up and my helper is being a pain in my ass and a liar right now, so I'm a bit miffed. Oh, Ken, I'm so sorry. Try not to be too upset, hon. I'm glad you're here. I really am. I'm glad all you guys are here. You guys are awesome. So let's see. I'm trying to think of how I want to start this. So, okay, let's start from the beginning. All right. So hang on, like I got my phone because I put the dates in here because I actually went through and I had to find my pictures, and when I found my pictures, I was obviously able to figure out exactly what are we doing over here, guys. Hey, let's see, I'm having kitty issues too. Oh, and the beanie. I was going to tell you guys this real quick. I actually just crocheted this one yesterday, and it's actually I crocheted this one for Diana. So Diana, if you're watching, this is your beanie. I crocheted this one. I know she's not gonna. I know chances are she's not gonna keep it. But we wanted to each have a beanie to wear at work this week, so I crocheted one for her to wear too. And it turned out when I put the sweater on, I looked at the beanie and I looked at the sweater and realized it's literally the exact same color. I was like, I'm gonna give the beanie a test run on the stream today. So now Diana, if you're watching, you can see this is your beanie. This is the beanie I'm gonna bring for you to wear this week at work. So that's the beanie thing. Okay. So, all right, let's start. So Farrha was actually born, I know she was born September 22nd, 2007. That was her birth date. I know that because I have her paperwork from her previous owner. However, I did not get Farrha until 2019. So one day I was scrolling through Facebook, and I'm not friends with this person, nothing. It was just, it was for some reason, I mean, I don't know how Facebook does these things or how you end up seeing things from people that aren't your friend. But one day I'm scrolling through and I happen upon this post from a girl named Julia saying that she was leaving for college and she couldn't take her cat with, the cat that she has had since this cat was born, basically. I mean, this cat was like only a couple weeks old, or no, she adopted this cat back in 2007. And she has had this cat ever since. So we're talking 12 years, almost 12 years. And she was going away to college, couldn't bring the cat with. And they thought that she had some medical issues that might be a little bit difficult to deal with. So I came across this post on a Saturday morning. She had the schedule, or the appointment had been made to bring her in Monday morning and have her put down. That was the post on Facebook. And she said, unless somebody out there is willing to take her. So I sat there reading this post going, I don't even know this person. I don't know how this post ended up on my feed, but it did. And so I thought about it and I went, can I really take on another cat right now? And then the question that actually was the most important question was, if I wake up Monday morning, having not done anything about this, would I be able to live with myself knowing that this cat got put down? No, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So I commented on the post and I said, can you give me some more details and a picture and all this other stuff and whatever? So she very, very generously sent me a couple pictures and some backstory. And I said, the next thing I'm going to ask, and please know that if she has medical issues, that's not a deal breaker for me. I just need to know for sure, so I know what I'm getting into. I will still take her, but I just need to know. Details, so I know what I can expect. So she told me, she said the only things that she had noticed was that she was starting to have problems with going to the bathroom in the litter box necessarily, which that's very common for older cats. And I said, okay. I said, is that it? And she said, yeah. And I'm in my head, I'm like, then why is she going to be ever put down? It literally was just a case of just, there wasn't anybody to take care of Farrha once she went to college, and she literally could not take Farrha with her. And I could tell that this was breaking her heart into a million pieces. So I said, don't worry about it. Cancel the appointment. Meet me tomorrow. I will pick Farrha up and I will give her a home. And I turned around and I sent her some pictures of the cats that I had at the time and said she is going to have a family and she's going to have all this stuff. Now, this cat had lived 12 years of her life by herself. She was an only cat in this house, and she was doted on and she was cared for and she was loved and everything else for all 12 years. This poor kitty went from being an only cat her entire life to having, I'm trying to remember. So 2019, I forgive me. I'm going to estimate because I don't remember what order right now, and I'm not in the mood to like look it up. But she went from being an only cat her entire life, and 2 seconds later, like literally 2 seconds later, she had like 10 or 11 sisters and brothers, or 12 brothers and sisters. Which, as you can imagine, was difficult. Now, I'm going to preface this with, are you going to show us a picture of Farrha Kim or too upsetting for you still? No, Mark, I just said I have pictures and we'll get to those. I'll show them here and there while we're doing the story, but just, bear with me. I'm just trying to set the story up first, and then we'll get into that. So I actually got her, I went and picked her up June 26th of 2019. That was my gotcha date. For any of you guys don't know what a gotcha date, it's anytime. Yeah, it's literally what it is. It's the day you got them. You got the cat, so it's a gotcha date. Some of my cats have gotcha dates instead of birth dates because I don't know their exact birth dates, so we celebrate gotcha dates. And just so I can close my phone or whatever. And so she was born September 22nd of 2007. I got her on June 26th of 2019, and she passed on July 17th of 2022. So those are her stats. Now, I'm going to bring these up, Jenna. Okay. So let's see. I want to see so Farrha, these are pictures of Farrha. How many slides are there? 2? No, there's 3. Okay, so here's the first slide. This is when I first got her. Literally, the 2 on top and the one on the bottom with the animal print blanket. Those 3 pictures are all literally the day I brought her home. The other 2 are just random pictures that I had of her, just over the course of time. And actually, no, I take that back. The one on the top with that little sign underneath it. So remember how I said the girl I got her from is Jewish, and her birthday was shortly after I got Farrha from her. And I kept in touch. That's what I mean by I got a friendship on this, because Julia and I still remain in contact to this day. Julia is a wonderful girl, wonderful lady, I should say, because she's not a little kid. She's just very young. She's very much younger than me. She's like my daughter's age. So I keep referring to her as a kid, and she's not a kid. She is very much an adult. She is a beautiful woman, but she is Jewish. And so what I did was I sat down and learned how to write happy birthday in Hebrew. And so I made Julia that little happy birthday sign and sent that picture to her for her birthday that year, so that she knew that Farrha was still in good hands and Farrha was still doing good, and that we both wished her a happy birthday, which she loved so much. She loved so much. But that just gives you an idea of, yes, I've kept in touch with Julia to this day. So those are some of the first pictures I ever had of Farrha. So I'm going to bring those down real quick. Okay. So, yeah, those were the first pictures I ever had of Farrha, and that was like right when I got her. So, like I said, Farrha was approximately 11, 12 years old when I got her, when I adopted her. And it was just a situation that she needed a home, and she was an elderly cat. Now, I did this knowing full well, because believe me, my daughter drove this point home to me when I told my daughter what I was doing. She goes, "Mom, you understand that you're adopting an older cat. She's not going to live very many years." And I said, "Jessa, I understand. I get it. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm getting into, and I'm doing it fully with that knowledge in my head. I know." So I adopted Farrha at like 11, 12 years old, roundabout. And Farrha was an amazing cat, but Farrha was also the hardest integration I have ever had to go through. And I've got a video that I'll show you guys in a little while, not just yet, but I will show you this in a little while. Farrha did not want anything to do with being around the other cats, which, like I said, she's like 12 years old and she's been an only cat her entire life. And here, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she's got all these cats around her, which was really jarring for her. And I understood that. So I was willing to go to any lengths to make her comfortable. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen these, but you can buy these play area things that go outside, and they're they look like an octagon kind of shape. And they got, the bottom, the sides, and the top zips shut so that they can go outside but still be in an enclosure. It's like a little mini tent, right? Well, I had one of those, and I don't have a picture of it. I wish I had a picture of this, but like I said, again, we're talking how many years ago? Never in a million years did I think I needed to document anything, because eventually I'd be on YouTube. No. So I have a lack of pictures on some of these things, but it's not because I didn't care. It's just I didn't expect to ever be on YouTube doing this. But I had one of those octagon shaped things, which if you've ever seen them and how big they are, they're pretty decent sized. And I had a king size bed at the time, yes. However, when you have one of these things on your bed, it takes up about 3/4 of your bed. So I actually had this octagon shaped thing on my bed for a couple of months. I slept next to it because Farrha wanted to be inside of it. And inside of it, we had her bowl of food and water, her little bed and everything. And I know that cats don't like their litter boxes being close to their food. So what I had to do is, luckily there's 2 little door flaps on this little tent thing, one on one side and one on the exact opposite. So what I did was I aimed one door toward me so that if I wanted to open up the door a little bit and put my hand in there and pet her, she could get reassurance that I was still there. And on the other side, I opened that flap and I made a little enclosure for a litter box so that it was in its own separate. Listen, I did a lot. So she had her little octagon tent to live in with all of her stuff, because this is what she wanted. This is literally what she wanted. I didn't stick her in this tent and go, here, you're stuck in a tent. No, this is where she wanted to be. She was happy in there. And as an elderly cat, I think we all have experienced elderly cats. Well, the exception is Feline, because Feline wants to be everywhere. But when they start getting older and they start winding down, they're good with finding a spot, their favorite spot, and just sticking with that. And that's kind of where she was at. So she wanted to be in this tent. If I tried to coax her out, she'd go right back in. That's where she was happy. But I built a second little enclosure thing that would be attached to that thing so that she had a separate little room, if for lack of a better term, a separate little room for her litter box. And probably about 3 months we did it that way. So yeah, 3 months I had this big old tent thing on my bed for her, just for her. And she was good with that. And she would come out once in a while and see the other cats and sniff at them or whatever. But she was not having it. She did not want to be out there too much. She came out on her own terms, and then she'd go right back in. That's where she was happy. That's where she was content. That's where she felt safe. And I was not going to bother her. But after a few months, I was like, okay, we got to figure out a different situation here. So, and Jenna, if you want to go ahead and get that pulled in here, I'm going to show that here in a second. So good timing for you to do that if you want.
Okay, thanks, Kim.
Yeah. So what I had to do was, there was a space between my bed and the wall, and it was a good 2 foot wide space. So what I did was I went to Home Depot. I bought myself some PVC piping and all the little corner pieces and the little attachment pieces and whatever. And then I sat down with some red fabric that had little kitty paw prints on it. And I sewed curtains that would go onto this thing to enclose it, top and bottom. So it was you'll see it in a second here. But this thing was a 3-tier condo that was literally next to my bed. The bottom tier that was on the floor had the litter box. And then she could go up to the second tier, which was like a living area with just her pillow and her blanket and all that stuff and her little toys. And then the third tier, which you'll see, this is a video. I'm not going to play the sound because it's actually, I was taking a video of Figaro peeking out and it was funny. But you'll see Figaro kind of peeking out from the top tier. The top tier is where her food and her water was. So that she had 3 separate tiers of this condo. And for the next 5 months, that's where she was. So I'm going to pull that up. can we shut the sound off, or do you know how to do that? The sound's not on. Never mind.
I already got it.
Okay, thank you, Jenna. Thank you.
No problem.
I'm showing you guys. This is the 3-tier condo. So the top, what you see on the very top, the little spot that you're going to see Figaro pop his head out of here, there. That's where her food and her water was. It obviously wasn't there right then because Figaro was playing around in there. But then underneath where Figaro is, you can see that it's a separate area, and that was her little living space with her pillow, her blanket, and all her little toys and stuff. And what you can't see underneath the level of my bed was the bottom tier that had the litter box. But as you can tell, it is PVC piping that I went and bought. And I worked my butt off to make sure that this cat had everything she needed. She was as comfortable as possible, and she had her own space. Thank you, Gertrude. I appreciate that. I love that. It's like a secret hideout. And it really was, but it was her home. And as you can see, like I said, this was just, I never expected to be on YouTube. So I was not trying to highlight the actual hut. I really wish I had, but, you can't tell, but she's actually in that second tier right now, just hanging out. She didn't care if the other cats came in there once in a while to visit. She obviously didn't want them hanging out there too long, but all total, if I were to stand next to this thing, it was about 4.5 feet tall altogether. So it was very tall, and it was very roomy, very spacious. And like I said, it had 3 levels to it. But yeah, so she lived in that for I shouldn't say lived in that. I did actually, after a few months, trying to coax her out of there and get her more integrated into the house so that I didn't want her living in that little thing for the rest of her damn life. So what I actually did eventually was I took her food and water bowls and I put them on my headboard. And, that I tried to use that so that she didn't have her food and water in there anymore. I was breaking that thing down little by little. So after a few months, that top piece that you saw Figaro peeking out of, I removed that top piece because that was just for the food and water. And I put the food and water on my headboard right next to it so that she had to come out once in a while because I had to keep working on her getting out and being more acclimated to the house. Because like I said, she couldn't live in there forever. But she did live in there. So I got her, July of 2019. I ended up leaving that house, my mom's house, in April of 2021. And so she actually was in that, basically, I had that hut for her almost that entire time. First, I took the top part away so that she had to come over to the headboard. But then one night, after about 5 months, I noticed that she came and she was sleeping on my pillow one night. And when I woke up in the morning, she was still on my pillow. So she hadn't gone back to the hidey hole. She had stayed on my pillow all night. And I was like, oh my God. So at that point, I disassembled the hidey hut the top 2 pieces were now gone. And it was just her having the litter box to herself, which that part was non-negotiable as far as she was concerned. So she remained having that one litter box to herself next to my bed on the floor up until the day we left that house. Obviously, you guys all know that when I left that house, I ended up in a hotel room for the following 6 months. So obviously that was no longer an option, but thankfully she was integrated enough at that point where she was full-time living around the cats and she was fine with the cats. They got along just fine, but it literally took me 8 months to fully integrate her into the house because I had to do it at such a slow pace. Kim intuitively practices trauma-informed care. And the funny thing is, I did not know that that's what it was. I just tried to put myself in her shoes and understand that she went from being an only cat to having just bombarded with all these cats. I was like, this has got to be difficult for her, and I've got to make it as trauma-less as possible. So that's just what I decided to do, and that's how I did it. So yeah, like I said, Farrha was an amazing cat. She was so loving. You were her angel, beautiful baby. Thank you so much, Deborah. I just, like I said, when I saw that post, I just had to sit down and ask myself, if Monday morning came and went, could I live with myself knowing that this cat just got put down and her life ended? I couldn't. I didn't think I could. I didn't think I would be able to live with myself. I think I would have lived with the question, could I have done something better for her? And it would have killed me. It would have literally killed me. That would have killed me for the rest of my life, always questioning that. And that's why I had to make the decision to take her in, because I was like, I can't. I just can't. I can't just let that happen. I can't. I couldn't. This is why we need more acceptance of pets in housing. The young woman shouldn't have ever been put in that position, thankfully. And that's exactly, Wanda, this is the thing. She was preparing for college long before she went to college. This woman is amazing. She is an amazing woman. She has done so much in her life, and she is so always like ahead of the game. So she assumed that Farrha was going to be fine staying at home with her mom while she went to college. So when she got her housing, she didn't think about that. But then when it came down to, there was some issues going on and whatever, and she had no choice. And I get it. I believe me, I had long talks with her. I don't blame her for the decision that was being made. I don't blame her mom. They are both wonderful, wonderful people. I absolutely love them both to death. And I'll get into that. I love them both. I mean, dearly. They are both wonderful, wonderful people. I think they were making the best decision they could possibly make right then with what they had available to them. So I stepped in to help them not have to make a decision like that. So yeah. So there we go. That's that. So that's why I got them.
Kim, if I could just interrupt a second, because it's not like uncommon, most people, when you go away to college, I know when I went away to college, I had a cat at home and it stayed with my family because it was young enough and they were able to care for it. But as soon as I moved out of the college housing and got my own apartment, then I was able, then I went back and I got her. My folks kept her there and they said, "Do you want this cat?" I said, "Now I can," so.
Right. Exactly.
I don't blame the young woman at all. I had to make the same decision and leave an animal. I just am grateful my animal was young enough, and healthy enough to be cared for.
And Julia is a wonderful, wonderful girl. One of the things that she was doing at college was she was actually she actually started a group at her college that was specifically for people that are Jewish with Hebrew backgrounds that were having a hard time fitting in. It was a social group for them. She was helping people. She was helping people learn more about their own heritage. And I mean, she spearheaded so much stuff. This woman is amazing. She is such an inspiration to everyone she comes across. I know that at one point, I'm not sure where she's living now, but I know at one point she had moved over to Israel. I mean, this woman is amazing. She has done so much work in her community, and she is so awesome, and she is so cool, and she is so sweet, and she is so loving. And I'm really glad that I was able to take Farrha into my home and give her the last of her years while Julia fulfilled her purpose, because Julia has a purpose in life and she is fulfilling it on a daily basis. And she is so awesome. So I just want you guys to know that this was, she wasn't doing anything bad. She was doing what she needed to do. And she was looking for someone to help, and because she loved Farrha. She loves Farrha so much. And she wanted Farrha to have a good life, but she also needed to fulfill her dreams and aspirations, which I get. And I was able to do that. So thankfully I saw, like I said, I don't know how Facebook works. Facebook at that, for me, that was just an amazing thing, because we're not friends. We don't share any friends in common, but somehow her post made it across my feed. We didn't even live in the same state. Okay. But somehow her post made it across my feed, and I just happened to see it that day. And I keep thinking to myself, how did that even happen? Because it was supposed to. That's all I can say. It was supposed to. Hey, Tater Tot, what are you doing? You're not going in the closet. She's trying to dig up the carpeting right next to the closet because she wants in the closet. She thinks if she digs up the carpeting, I don't know, she's trying to tunnel into the closet or what she's doing. Hi, Tater Tot. Anyways, so yeah, so like I said, Farrha was such an amazing cat. She was so sweet. She was so loving. And there's a picture in here I want to pull up, because there's a picture of something she used to do that just used to crack me up. Where is it? Oh, it's not in here. Dang it. Maybe I didn't send it to you. So she would come up next to me. And the only way I can describe it is, okay, so say this is me, right? So I'm just sitting here watching TV. She would come up next to me and she would just do this. And she would just sit there with her head like this against me. That was her way of telling me that she wanted love and attention. It was the cutest thing. I will never forget that as long as I live. It was so cute the way she used to do that. I used to love that. I would just be
I didn't see it.
Okay, so like pretend like this is me right here. Like this is my side. and I'm watching TV, she would literally walk up to me and she would just do this.
Oh,
And
like
she
a
would just
headbutt.
no, she wouldn't even headbutt. She would just set her head like this, and she would just sit there until I noticed her and petted her. That was her way of saying I want attention. It was the cutest thing in the whole world. I loved it so much. It was amazing. She was such an amazing cat. So I obviously had her from 2019 to 2022. She lived in the hotel with us for the 6 months. She made the trip down to Missouri with us, and she lived here. And then, let's see, this was actually when we were in the hotel. So these 3 pictures right here is when we were in the hotel. She's such a pretty girl. Such a beautiful baby girl. And at one point in time, and I don't know why, I think, okay, so she didn't like being brushed a lot. But if you look at the top picture where my steering wheel is because I'm in the car and she's riding with me. She's going for a ride with me. She's like going for rides. But you can see the big tufts of hair on her side because she wouldn't let me brush her. She didn't want to be brushed. And if I did get a chance to brush her, she was just not like laying still for it. So these big clumps of hair would just pile up on her and I'd have to pull them off. But I took that picture because I was like, oh my God, Farrha, you're just full of clumps of hair. And then the one, what are you doing? Oh, the one next to it is just her laying on the couch. And the one underneath it was a big fuzzy pillow that I made. And she loved laying on that fuzzy pillow. And then the one you see on the bottom there with her laying on a little blanket, which is this blanket that I crocheted for her. This was her blanket. I crocheted this just for her. That picture that you see on the bottom is actually the last picture ever taken of Farrha. Yeah, that was the last picture I ever took of her. So now we've reached this point in time in the story. Farrha got very sick at the end. And old age, just old age, nothing bad, no bad disease or anything like that. Just old age started taking effect on her. And so the last week of her life, actually for the last 2 months of her life, I was bringing her into the vet like every other week for quality of life checkups, which, just so you know, I didn't know that was even a thing that you could do. If you have an elderly cat that is starting to showing signs of, their old age and whatnot, you actually can call the vet and ask them for a quality of life checkup. Most vets, I'm not going to say all of them, most vets have a discounted rate for just quality of life checkups because they're not like, you're not bringing them in for an actual like office visit for like whatever. They usually give you a discounted price for quality of life checkups. So I was bringing her in like every other week for a quality of life checkup. She was okay. The last week, she was so dehydrated that she could barely walk. She wasn't doing well at all. And so, okay, this is the other thing she was doing. And, okay, she could barely walk. She could barely do anything because she was so dehydrated. Even though she was drinking water, she was eating wet food constantly, but she was having a hard time and she was really slowing down in participating in any of these little, life things. So I took her to the vet and the vet gave me, and this is the thing that I still have. It's still in the bag. This is the bag from the vet. And inside this bag is an IV bag. So when I told you guys there's something I'm hanging on to that really does need to go, this is what I meant. It's not a memorabilia thing. It is fluids. Yes, it is just an IV bag of saline solution. And what I had to do with this bag, see this little port right here, is every single morning I had to take one of these. Oh my God, there's actually dust inside that bag. Holy crap. I had to take one of these and I had to fill it all the way with that fluid out of that bag. And then what I had to do, and again, this was every single morning. So I had to take that bag, that thing, and then I had to take one of these, and I know you can't see it very well, but it's called a butterfly needle. I had to attach it to the end of this, and then it has a little hose on it, and I would have to insert the needle underneath her skin on the back of her neck, and I would have to plunge this entire syringe of liquids underneath her skin and her neck just to keep her hydrated. That's what I had to do every single day for the last week of her life. It was awful. I hated doing it. I cried every single morning I had to do it to her. but I knew it was the only thing like that I knew that it was necessary. I had to do it. So I did it. Well, so when I first moved down here, Farrha liked to drink her water out of her bowl, but in the bathroom sink. So there was a bowl in my bathroom sink full of water at all times so that she could go in there and she could jump up there and she could, well, after a while, she couldn't jump up there anymore. So I'd taken the bowl out of there because it was hard for her to jump up onto the counter and get that water. So we stopped doing that. We stopped doing that like 6 months before she passed. And the bathroom door was then shut all the time. But over this weekend, because she passed away on a Sunday, I noticed on Saturday morning that she was standing at the bathroom door, scratching at the bathroom door, wanting to go in there. And I'm like, what are you doing? You haven't got, why are you scratching? She was literally showing signs of what we know to be like dementia. She was trying to do things that we hadn't done. She wanted in the bathroom because she wanted to go get her water out of the bowl. We hadn't done that for 6 months. She hadn't gone in the bathroom for water for 6 months. But all of a sudden on this day, she all of a sudden, after all this, is deciding she wants to go. She's trying to go into the bathroom to get her water like it was like this normal routine. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And it turns out that is a warning sign. That is a warning sign. Huge. I would have never known that if it wasn't for Farrha. But that turns out to be a huge warning sign of get to the vet because there's something bad. So I made her the appointment to go back in for a quality of life check on Sunday. I got in there and the vet took one look at her. He looked at me and I knew that look. Even though I had never been in that position before, I knew that look. Yes, kitty dementia, Gertrude, you got it right. When I told him what she was doing and whatnot, he said, she is about to go into renal failure. And luckily, and he was about to explain it to me. I said, no. I said, I know what that is. I'm aware of what it is. And if anybody doesn't know what that is, if your animal goes into renal failure, your animal literally has days to live. And if you allow that to take them, it is going to be awful, painful, traumatic for you and for them. It's going to be awful and painful for them. Horrible. I mean, listen, if you ever take your pet in and they say something about them going into renal failure, put them down. It is the most humane thing you can possibly do for that animal. If you love them, put them down. Do not ever let them go into renal failure. So the hardest thing that ever happened to me was I walked into that clinic thinking I was taking her in for a quality of life check. The vet looked at me and said, it's time. I didn't expect that. So I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. I didn't wake up that morning thinking I was going to be saying goodbye to her. It was so hard. It was so hard. It was awful to hear that come out of his mouth, but he said renal failure, and I was like, oh my God, I don't have a choice. I do not have a choice. There wasn't any negotiating in my mind. There was nothing. It was just renal failure was said, and I went, okay. And I had no choice but to very quickly adapt to the fact that my cat was not coming home with me. So, again, here's her in her little bed, in her little carrier with this blanket wrapped up. Brought her in there, and I had to say goodbye to her that day. I came home, and I'm going to bring this picture back up, the last picture ever taken of her, on the bottom where she's laying on this little blanket. Those bowls were the water bowls next to her, but she had this blanket, and she had her food and water bowl. You can't see it because it's out of frame in that picture, but her food and water bowl are next to her on the other side of her, and I came home from that, and it took me, I think, almost 3 weeks before I could even move this from the floor or move her bowls. I couldn't do it. I couldn't put her blanket away. I couldn't put her bowls away because I couldn't say goodbye. It was so hard. And what was even harder is having to come home, having that happen, because I didn't call Julia ahead of time because I didn't know that it was going to happen that day. So I had to come home and I had to call Julia. Julia didn't get to say goodbye because we didn't know that was happening that day. So I had to call Julia and I had to break the news to her that Farrha was gone. and she hadn't been able to say goodbye, and I felt so horrible. And I mean, to this day, I wish I had known, because I know I had no choice. I know, but it was so hard. It was so hard. It's like the one thing if you know it's coming and you know that that's the day. It's another thing when you think you're bringing your pet to the vet just to have a checkup, and then all of a sudden you go home with empty-handed. It was awful. It was so awful. It was so hard. And because she was such an amazing little girl, and she was such an amazing cat, amazing pet, amazing friend. She had adapted. This cat had. I took this cat in at such an older age, and we worked so hard to integrate her into the house. And she had done so great, and she had accepted all the cats, and they all accepted her, which was something that just absolutely blew my mind. It's one thing to bring in a younger cat and whatever, but to work for 8 months and build things and do all these things just to integrate her and have her, it would just, like I said, Farrha just touched me in a way that no other cats ever touched me, and I probably will never touch me ever again, because she was an individual. She was just a unique situation, and my first senior cat adoption, and so she was amazing. She was so amazing. But yeah, it took me, so I had to call Julia, and I had to tell her, and so Julia, it broke Julia's heart. It broke my heart. Luckily, like I said before, Farrha actually lives on with us. She's in the shadow box right next to Phoenix, and right next to Precious and Watson and stuff. So yeah, she's still here. Losing a pet is hard, but you gave her a good end of life, and I know she's still and always will live in your heart. No, it's true. I mean, and I'm very grateful for having. Sorry, guys.
Looks like we have some people in the chat, that have gone through the same thing, Kim.
I've been through the same kind of shock at the vet twice. Oh my God. It's so hard. I lost my Kiki 3 years ago. Real player. I'm still not over it. Okay, so I'm not the only one. That makes me feel so much better. I am so grateful, though, for the chance to have known Farrha, for to have been her mom for a few years, and to be a co-parent to her with Julia. Like I said, I still have contact with Julia. She's such a wonderful girl, wonderful lady, woman. She's so amazing, and she's done so much with her life, and she has so much still to do. And I'm so glad that I could be there to help her out and to take on Farrha and be her second mom, so that Julia could do what she needed to do and not have to worry about it. It was so amazing that what we were able to do together. So sorry to hear about your baby. It's so hard when you have to let them go, but I know she had a great life with you. Sending love from UK, me and my 6 cats. Thank you so much, Cheryl. So,
thank you, Cheryl.
Yeah. As you can see, like I said, Farrha was just a special cat. She really was. She was a special baby, and she taught me a lot that I wouldn't have known otherwise. I got a friend out of that situation, and I will forever be grateful to Julia for trusting me with Farrha and letting me be a part of her life, and whatever. But so what I meant was, when I said I need to let go, is that that bag that I showed you, this bag, I never moved it. This is literally what you guys see me doing right now. This is literally the first time that I have touched this bag since that day. I just never took it down from my door because it was hanging on a hook on my door. And I literally, the last time I touched this bag was the morning that Farrha passed, because I gave her fluids like I was supposed to. Rehung it on the door, and then she passed, and I just never touched the bag again. But I know it's there. And what I did was I hung sweaters and a couple jackets over it, so I didn't have to look at it. But I knew it was there. It was like a comfort thing. But it's been a year and a half. This is a bag of saline solution, you guys. And it's time to let it go. So I have now removed it from the backside of my door, because I wanted to show you guys what we did for the last week of her life. And now, as soon as the stream is over, this is going to go into the garbage can out front, because it's a bag of, this is not Farrha. This is not Farrha. This is a bag of saline solution and a couple of items that came from the vet's clinic. This is going into the garbage because it is time to let this go. And you guys have my word that as soon as we are off stream, I will be walking out front and I will be placing this into the garbage bag or the garbage can, and the garbage gets picked up tomorrow morning. So that will be gone. All your other 19 cats help you stay strong. They really do. They really, really do. They really do. But this is also the first time that I have touched this since she passed too. I have this. This actually stays folded up in my closet on the shelf because this was Farrha's. I made this specifically for her, and so this will always be hers. And if another cat needs their own spot, I will crochet them their own. But this was Farrha's, and so this goes back in the closet when I'm done here. But I wanted to show you guys that yes, I did. I crocheted her own little blanket for her to lay on in the kitchen because that's where she wanted to be. Anyone who doubts the strength and depth of the human animal bond needs to see the comments in this chat. Love you, Kim. Thank you, Wanda. So yeah, so this was that was Farrha's story. So I know you guys never got to meet her, but now you guys know that Farrha was an actual cat that I had. She was a wonderful little girl. She was a wonderful baby. She was amazing. She was so resilient and so loving and so caring. And the fact that at her age, we got her into my house and we integrated her, no matter how long it took, I was bound and determined to integrate her somehow. But yeah, so now you guys know that Farrha existed, and Farrha was very loved by a lot of people. Oh, and it's just so you know, Julia and her mother. So at one point, I wanted to bring her to her regular vet because this was back in Minnesota. I wanted to bring her back to the vet that she'd always seen with Julia. So I did because we were worried about her being sick at one point. It turned out to just be a urinary tract infection, which we treated. But not only did Julia pay for that, and this was like a year after I had gotten her, Julia paid for that vet trip, all the tests and everything. And I got a chance to meet her mom afterwards. And Julia's mom handed me a check for $300 and said, "Here, go take care of all these babies." So if anybody questions their devotion to animals, no, they are wonderful, wonderful people. And they helped me out hugely after I took Farrha because they knew that I was taking her so that they could have peace of mind. And I understood their position, and I will never fault them for their decisions. I will never fault them for what they felt they needed. No, because you know what? I'm not them. I wasn't in their shoes, and I'm not going to judge anybody. They asked for help, and that's what matters to me. They asked for help, and I was able to help. So I did. What you did for her was so heartwarming, and she was so blessed to have you for her mommy. Thank you, Deborah, so much. Like I said, Farrha touched me in a way, like I said, that no other cats ever touched me. And I'm sure that had a lot to do with, the whole situation surrounding her. But she was an amazing, amazing cat. God, she was so good. She was so lovey. And I mean, one of the things I really do miss is how she used to come up to me and she just put her head down and she just sit there like that. And she would literally sit there like that. Even if it took me 5 minutes to if I was in the middle of doing something or whatever, or cooking or whatever, she would just sit there with her head like that until I was able to pay attention and give her love. She was so cool. She was so cool. I absolutely loved it. I just loved it. And Gertrude, you're absolutely right. It's especially hard to throw away things that represent the struggle to keep her alive. And I think that's why it still is here. So thank you for validating that for me. I mean, I'm sure that wasn't your intention, but you just absolutely made me feel so much better about the fact that I still had that, because you're right. That literally is why I have never been able to let it go, because that was my struggle to keep her alive. The feelings of loss is catastrophic. Talking helps. When people listen, it does heal the heartache. No, you're right. It does, Barbara. Thank you, guys. You guys, I keep telling you guys, and I'm going to say it forever. You guys have no idea what you guys do for me. Okay? You guys really don't. I mean, how much you guys help me heal, how you guys help me, just be a be and to sort out my own things. You guys are so amazing. And you're so supportive and so loving and so caring. And there's nothing in this world I will ever be able to do to show you how much I appreciate every single one of you guys for that. So thank you guys for listening to me. Like I said, yes, this is a struggle for me. This is very sad. It's sad for me in the sense that, I got to let this go. And because I have all these other babies around me all the time, it's like when something like that happens, it's hard for me to be able to grieve, because I can't take all kinds of time to just grieve about something, because I have all these other little faces here that need me to be strong and to be there for them and to take care of them. So yeah. So that's one of those things that I never really got to let go or grieve, because I think I just put it on the back burner just because I needed to take care of these guys. So yeah. So that makes it hard too. That makes it very hard. But now you guys have given me a platform to be able to take care of this and to talk about this and to share that story with you and to finally say, you know what, it's time, and I can let it go. So yeah. So I'm letting it go today. I'm letting that go. I'm not forgetting Farrha. I'm not nothing like that. But I need to let go of that and stop hanging on to it like this damn bag, this stupid bag. And I'm going to refer to it as a stupid bag because it really is. It's a stupid bag. It is not her. She's not in that bag. Yes, it represents something, but it doesn't at the same time. Farrha is still here with us, and I still have her, and so that's all I need. I don't need this bag to hang on to, and it needs to go. It really does. I'm gonna listen, you guys. I got a bag of saline hanging on my door. It's been sitting there for 1.5 years. It needs to go. We're giving you trauma-based care, you guys. Thank you guys so much. It's a pain like no other. It is. It is, Amanda. Thank you for saying that. It really is. It's a pain that is just unlike any other. You gave Farrha extra life. It's so hard saying goodbye. I've had to do it too many times, and it helps to know I will see them all in heaven. She's waiting for you in heaven. Kim, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are so amazing. Really, you guys are. You have no idea how much your support means to me. And you know what? This is for Catitude. This is why cheater lashes are important. Because if this was mascara, no, man, no, that would not be working out. So, anyways, so yeah, so Farrha has gone to the Rainbow Bridge and she has fulfilled her purpose in life. And I'm just glad that I could help and that I had a part in that and that I got to know her. And the vet clinic that I go to down here is super nice and super sweet. And when these things happen, the thing they give you actually a card that has the Rainbow Bridge poem on it. And to this day, I haven't read it. I read it once years ago, but that's all I needed to do. I don't need to read it again because every time I read it, even if it's not in the midst of like something about my cats, just if I come across it on Facebook, if I were to read it, I would be sobbing. So I choose not to read it. I already know what it says. I have already read it, but they give you a card with that. They give you a documentation card for the cremation, and they give you your cat's ashes back. And I think I showed you guys Phoenix's a while back, but they give you this really pretty little metal box urn. It's so cute. So they do a lot. It's amazing. I found a very good vet down here for this. So yeah, we feel every word, Kim. We totally with you. Thank you, Gertrude. That's why I said, just get your Kleenexes, because anybody that's an empath, in any way, shape, or form, plant a tree or a perennial shrub and bury her ashes to help new life grow. I lost my 16-year-old husky. She was my constant companion, my best friend, my everything. I am planting a rose garden. Amanda, here's why I can't do that. Okay? Because I'm in Missouri, and I can tell you that in my heart, I know that eventually I'm going to end up back in Minnesota. I can't put my pets anywhere that I'm not going to be for the rest of my life. So I keep their ashes with me, because if I can't put her ashes in the ground here, and then all of a sudden years from now, even a couple of years from now, I either sell this house and get a different house, or I move back to Minnesota. Because like I said, eventually I know in my heart that most likely I will end up back in Minnesota eventually. I would have to leave my babies behind, and I can't do that. So I keep them with me. But I understand what you're saying right now. I really do, Amanda. And I think that's a great idea. So if you're in someplace, obviously if I was way older and I was in in my retirement home where I knew I was going to be for the rest of my life, that is totally something I would totally do. And if that's where you're at, that's great. I love that. I wish I knew that I was going to be here for the rest of my life so that I could make a memorial garden and do things like that. That's an awesome idea. I love that idea.
If I can interrupt, Kim, because obviously I love that idea from Amanda, because I have a memorial garden in my house here, my yard here in Florida with, that I planted trees and stuff for the animals when, we lost 2 of our cats within the last, 5 years, and very traumatic. I was in tears with you, Kim. I was in tears with you.
I knew, I kind of figured you would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, I was in tears with you.
Yeah. So what I want to do is actually I want to get a couple of those stepping stones that you can get, just remembrance things. I want to do that because those are things that I can take with me. And I really thought about taking some of the ashes and having like Farrha's ashes, just taking some of them and getting a stepping stone, a garden stone created with her ashes, poured into it. Not all of them, but some of them, so that I can actually have, those things, because I think that'd be great. And I would do the same thing for Phoenix. I would do the same thing for Precious. So I thought about doing something like that, which I think would be a great idea to do that. Just then I'd always have their stepping stones where they could be outside. Part of their ashes could be outside and whatever. I don't know. I haven't totally decided yet. I don't think I have to decide right now, but these are just things I was thinking about. So yeah. But yeah, right now their ashes stay with me, and they are perfectly safe and happy and warm and cozy in their little shadow box in my living room. So they're always there. They're always with me. I totally understand. I'm so glad you do. But I think what you suggested is a great idea. And anybody that's in a position where they feel comfortable doing that, I think that's great. I think it's a great way to get closure. That's awesome. And then to have like a perennial bush or a rose bush or something growing that would always have them in it that's so cool. It's so cool. So yeah. So, yay! We did the Farrha story. Okay. All right, guys. That was the Farrha story. And I don't know about. I know I got really sad there, but you know what? I'm really glad I did it, because I actually feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders now that I've done it, and I've shared it with somebody and shared it with all of you guys. And yeah. And I
Doing it. We're doing it.
Cammy, my kids have been instructed to put all our fur babies' ashes in my coffin. Hubby knows it too. Listen, Cammy, that was actually gonna just say that. I'm glad you said that too. I'm not the only one, but my kids know that when I go, because I don't want to be in a coffin. Listen, you guys, y'all know how I feel about bugs. I don't like bugs touching me or coming near me while I'm alive, and I do not want them coming near me when I'm gone. So do not put me in a box. Do not put me in the ground where there's little bugs down there. No. I want to be cremated. And I want any ashes of any of my babies that I have when I go. I want everything put into one thing together. Yeah, everything. Kim, one of your member books should be furry tissues. Gertrude.
That was great, Gertrude. Thank you.
Awesome. I needed that. That was so funny. Oh my God. That was hilarious. I love that. Oh my God. It's so funny. Oh my God. You guys are hilarious. How can I send you some bonkers for your cats? We actually have an Amazon gift page. Is that something that's on Amazon? Listen, let me look on Amazon and see if that's something that's on Amazon, because if it is, I will add it to the gift registry. And if you want to, you can go to the gift registry, which is in the description for every video we have. And you can use that as a way to send things for right now. Because like I said, okay, I know I keep saying I'm going to do it, but one of these days I'm actually going to get to the post office and I'm going to get a P.O. box. I just keep forgetting to do it, you guys. Are you back to work tomorrow, Kim, or later in the week? Actually, we go back to work Tuesday morning. We are working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday's the 30th? Yeah, because the 31st is Sunday. So yeah, we'll be working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I will be back late at night on Saturday after work. But yeah, so tomorrow is going to be get the house cleaned up, get litter boxes all refreshed and taken care of and whatnot, get kitties all loved and everything all day, because and laundry done and packing done, because I got to leave at dark 30 in the morning on Tuesday so we can go do the stores on Tuesday and head out. Yeah, so yeah. But we're going to be working all day each day, so there's not going to be any time for anything else. So yeah. I mean, I'm not even going to be home in time to feed the cats each night. So I've got Sue coming over and taking care of feeding the cats because I'm going to be leaving way earlier than they eat and getting home way later than they eat. So she's going to be coming over and feeding them in the morning and feeding them at night for me so they can stay on their schedule and I don't got to worry about it. So yeah, chances are I'm going to be having like 16-hour days. And that's far too big of a spread for them to wait for their food because I don't like doing I don't like making them wait more than, I mean, at the very most, maybe 12 hours. So if I feed them at 5 a.m. and then feed them at 5 p.m., it's fine. But yeah, so I figure since they've gotten used to eating about 6:30 in the morning and then eating between 4 and 5. So I want to keep them on that schedule. So Sue has been very, very gracious, and she's gracious enough to agree to keep them on that schedule for me so I don't have to worry about it. Yay. So yeah, so Sue will be taking care of the kitties' foods this week while I'm working and gone for like 16 hours each day. What is bonkers? I'm going to guess that they're treats. That's what I'm going to guess. I don't know what they are. I've never heard of them, but you know what? Hey, if they're on Amazon, I will put them on the gift registry as soon as we're done here. And yeah, if you want to go check that out, you can definitely send them that way. Jenna will keep putting out videos for you to show us. Yeah. So we actually have some plans. I mean, obviously you guys know, obviously I can't go all week. Listen, this is like an addiction for me too, but it's a good addiction. It's a positive addiction. There's no way in God's green earth I can go all week without putting out something. So you guys will at least get a couple of work videos out of me this week. I'll do a couple clickety clacks for you guys and maybe a couple of Kim and Diana kind of videos, whatever. We'll see. But yeah, so we'll put out some things. I'll put out some things. I'm probably not going to have any cat videos for you guys because like I said, 16-hour days are not going to allow me anything for that, but I will definitely put out a couple work videos. I might even be able to get my friend Matt to do a couple videos for you guys this week when, the guy that did the fat guy in the little coat thing. God, he's hilarious. He makes work so much fun. He really does. Let me just tell you what, Matt is hilarious. And he's one of the reasons why going to work I look forward to it because I'm like, oh my God, we get to go hang out with Matt. Because Matt is so funny. It's so funny. I love it.
So Kim, we'll get a little bit of your life beyond 18 cats
Yes,
this coming week as
ma'am.
well.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll get some listen, I'm going to do the clickety clack video because it's now become a thing where every time I go to work, I got to put out at least one clickety clack video. I don't want to one called me when I was at work one day and I was actually standing right next to him. And so I put her on speakerphone. So she actually got to talk to him a little bit and those two cracked me up. So yeah, we have fun at work. We have a good time. My coworkers are great. They are so much fun, and I have a blast. So yeah, I'll have a safe week. Thank you so much, Cami. And I just realized that this morning. Okay, so Amber ate breakfast this morning, and then she disappeared. I walked through this whole house. I couldn't find her anywhere, and I just figured out where she was. I have a box with my paperwork in it, right at the end of my little table here that I've got, and I just watched her go inside the box. And that's where she's falling asleep. So apparently that's where I can find Amber. She's inside a box. I didn't know that till just now. Okay. So anywho, don't forget the Cat Advocate channel launch. No, we can do that. So there will be at least one day, Wanda, just so you know, where we'll get done fairly early because I know that in this trip there's one day where we're gonna get done real early because it's a really small store. So as soon as I figure out which day that is, hi Amber, did you hear your name, honey? Yes, you did. As soon as I figure out what day that is, I will let you know, and that's probably going to be the best day to do it because I'll be off early enough to where we can get up, we can get things set up, and we can get in there, and we can start that. So just so you guys know, be on the lookout for that because obviously I will make an announcement, or Jenna will actually make an announcement because Jenna's going to be like, she's going to be the driving force.
I got
this
it.
week. I know you do. As soon as I know what date, yep, I will let Jenna know, and Jenna will make a post so you guys know when we're going to launch that, so you guys can come take part in that, and you guys can be there to support us if you want to. Hi, Amber, come here, pretty girl. Hi, baby. You want to say hi? Did you want to say hi? Say hi. Say hello. Here's my Amber. Yes, here's my little Amber. She's so pretty. Look at how beautiful she is. Hi, beautiful girl. Love you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. She's such a sweet girl. I would love to show you Chewy, Mark, but he's not up here. He's downstairs with everybody right now. I'm not going to run downstairs and grab Chewy and come running back upstairs. No, I'm not going to do that. But I mean, Choo-choo. Let's see if Chewy comes running. I don't know if he want to. Chewy, Chewy, choo. Where my little choo-choo? Sometimes he'll come when I call him, and sometimes he doesn't. Just depends on how he's feeling. If he's like absolutely just like out to lights out, then he's not going to come running up here. But I do have something else I wanted to share with you guys. So I was on Facebook right before we came on here, and I noticed something that, if you guys remember Lee, he's the one that did my tattoo. Now, because he made a little disclaimer on his, I'm going to make a disclaimer too. Trigger warning for anybody that might be triggered by this. What I'm about to show you, I'm not showing you anything graphic. It's just, there's a topic in here about self-harm. I just want you guys to be aware of that. So if anybody wants to bow out of this video right now, I totally understand. Please take care of yourself. Don't worry about it. I get it. But something that Lee is doing at his tattoo shop, he put this up. It says, content warning. While I may not have firsthand experience with the challenges of self-harm, I recognize the seriousness of the issue and the impact it has on individuals dealing with mental health conditions and their loved ones. At Immortal Art, we are committed to supporting those in need. We are pleased to offer $20 tattoos as a positive alternative to self-harm. And these are the tattoos that he's offering. Obviously, he's probably open to any kind of semicolon. These are just his ideas. But I saw that and I almost started crying. I was like, oh my goodness. Listen, Lee is an amazing guy. I think this was an amazing thing he's doing. And I wanted to shout this out on here so you guys saw this. So if you guys have a tattoo artist that you're friends with or that you normally go to, or a regular person, whatever, here's an idea. Here's an idea. Bring this to them. Show them this. Let's kind of put this out there that I think this is a great idea. I think this is a wonderful idea. I think this is a wonderful sign of support or show of support by Lee. And because of what he does for a living, I think this is a positive alternative, because that's literally what he says in there. He said he's offering $20 tattoos for people as a positive alternative to self-harm, which I think is, listen, Lee is amazing. And I couldn't help but to share this with you guys. So if you guys know of a tattoo artist that you think might be interested in an idea like this, let's pass it on, guys. Let's pass it on, because I think this is an amazing thing that Lee is doing. And I wanted to give him all the credit in the world for this. So yeah, that's what Lee is doing today. That's what he put out today. And I thought that was amazing. So I wanted to share it with you guys so that you guys can maybe share it with somebody. Let's keep this this positivity going, because I think it's amazing. Good job, Lee. I know he'll end up watching this video later. So good job.
Also, his link is still in our description for his Immortal Art Studio there. And
yep, definitely.
Missouri.
Oh, Barbara, you know what? You're right. Listen, I'm not good at these things. I forgot today is Palm Sunday. You are absolutely correct. Yes, happy Palm Sunday to everyone that celebrates that. Thank you for reminding me. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to bring you guys today. We did everything. We did everything I wanted to do. We got to see some video of my little creation of a cat condo. Listen, I'm really proud of that cat condo. It was really good. It was awesome. When my kids saw me building something, they're like, oh God, Mom's building something again. But when it was all said and done and they came and they saw what I built and the 3 levels and how it worked, they were so impressed. They were like, okay, this is super cool, Mom. We're happy with this. So that condo was like, my little engineering feat. I'm not Mark Rober, I know, but it was my engineering feat. I thought it was great. But yeah, so I got to show you that. I got to share Farrha with you guys, and I feel a lot better about letting go, which, like I said, I'm going to be taking that down to the garbage can as soon as I'm done here. And we got to see Amber, and I got to highlight a little bit what Lee's doing. Do you plan on any more tattoos? Mark, I plan on all the tattoos. I will get as many tattoos. I will keep getting tattoos. As long as I've got something that I want to get that I think is worth getting, I will get another tattoo, and I will keep doing that for the rest of my life. I promise. But yeah, and if I do, I will live stream it. Deborah, thanks, Kim and Jenna, for all you do and for sharing this beautiful story. Hey, thank you guys for being here and hanging out with us and going through this little experience with me and being part of my journey. my journey. Oh my God, you guys are so awesome. Thank you guys. I've got to go take care of this.
Thank you, Gertrude.
Yes, thank you. Jenny, you do a fabulous job, especially with your times. I know, doesn't
I'm
she?
practicing.
Doesn't she? I know. Thank you guys for saying that, Gertrude, because you know what? Listen, I've told you guys this, and I will die on this hill. Jenna is amazing. She is a godsend. She is an angel, and I don't know what I would do without her. All the little kitties, all the little kitties, all the little kitties, all the little kitties. And Wanda, you are absolutely 100% right. I would encourage people with self-harm tendencies to talk to their therapist first. I've known people who self-harm, and I can see pros and cons to that idea. And you know what? You're right. And I would assume that anybody, with self-harm ideations would for sure be talking to a therapist first. I just needed to highlight that because I thought that was an amazing idea. And the fact that he's actually considering these things and he's doing things like that and getting involved and trying to help the community, I think it's an amazing idea. I think it's a great idea. So yeah. But yes, Wanda, you may bring up a very good point. Good job, Wanda. Thank you for bringing up that point. I'm so glad that you're here to do that. But yes, Gertrude, Jenna.
Well, I think that would be a crime because Gertrude, I'm sorry, I'm already married. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I am flattered though. Thank
Wait a
you.
minute. Did you get a marriage proposal before I did?
Or maybe she was saying it in your voice. Maybe she was pretending to be you and say, "Will you marry me, Jenna?" in Kim's voice. Either way.
Now let's go with that. Let's go with that. Yeah. Let's go.
Thank you, Gertrude.
You guys are hilarious. Yes. Okay. So, like I said, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I have got to go to the bathroom so bad because I downed all this coffee today just in preparation for what I was doing today. And yeah, I gotta take care of some stuff in my house. So I got lots to do before I leave Tuesday morning. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for being so much support and so wonderful. And I absolutely just love you guys to death. And I don't know what I'd do without you guys. And that includes you, Jenna.
Thank you, Kim. Great talk today. I really appreciate you sharing it.
Thank you.
Do. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Julia, if you're watching this, love you, girl. Proud of you. And thank you for letting me be a mom to Farrha alongside you. And yeah, take care of yourself, hon. And I will get out of here. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for hanging out. And I will see you guys. Ooh, God. I won't see you guys until next weekend. Bye-bye.